Welcome back, everybody, to Coffee Unlimited with J and D. I'm with my wonderful co-host Danielle, and this week is a super moon week. So, we're going to have one of the biggest and brightest full moons of the year. And so we thought maybe we would talk about lunar cycles and the moon and, how it affects our emotions and our bodies. And we don't know where this conversation will go, but we're looking forward to having it. And so, Danielle, thank you for joining me every week to talk about these topics. You and I had just a brief moment to chat about this full moon coming up, and I was hoping maybe you could talk about how you incorporate the lunar cycles in your own practice or when you're teaching yoga, because I know that you do that. So, how do you talk about a full moon, and what do you encourage people to do during these times in nature?
Mhm. Thanks, Janelle. I wrote about the lunar cycle, I think a couple years ago in one of my newsletters because I would often, so when you practice Ashtanga yoga, they take rest on moon days. So the
Hmm.
studio is closed on new moons and full moons. And my practice was so sporadic because I was aligned with my Outlook calendar rather than the lunar calendar. So I would show up
Hmm.
like, I am ready to practice today. And I'm like, oh, moon day, the studio's closed. I would like literally get to the studio. And that happened so many times. And I thought, I need to start like at the beginning of the year. I want to start putting in those dates in my calendar so that I can be a little bit more attuned to nature and the lunar cycle rather than like completely in my like corporate environment and
Hmm.
out of touch with the environment. But the way in which I like to think about the lunar cycle is so when we have a new moon, that's really the time to plant the seed. So if we go back to the farmers, it was really the time where you were planting. And so, metaphorically, we can think about that as an opportunity to plant our intentions and ask ourselves, every new moon, what is it that I deeply desire? What
Hmm.
is it that I desire from the level of my soul? And then 2 weeks later, with the full moon, it's that opportunity to release. And maybe it's releasing the intention or the attachment to the outcome of the intention and just kind of letting the universe sort of provide when we're ready to receive it. Or maybe there's
Hmm.
something, a negative quality. Like for me, I was noticing, I was teaching a yoga class and when I was talking about the full moon, and this was an opportunity to release, something that comes up for me is control because I can get very controlling and meticulous. And if somebody's not listening to me in the yoga class, like I feel like saying, hey, what the F are you doing? Like, I mean, I don't mind if somebody's resting. That's
Yeah.
completely different. But if they're like over there doing their own thing, I'm like, why the frick are you even here? Like, you're so distracting. Get the fuck out of my class. Like, never come back. Like, that's and so as I was talking about the full moon and there was somebody, kind of doing their own thing, I was like, wow, I have got to release control. Like, I have no idea what's going on with this person, right? Like they could be injured, they could just be like having a breakdown and they just need a safe space to be in community and move the way they
Hmm.
want to. But anyway, so that's something that I need to work on. For obvious
Just
reasons.
let them, like Mel Robbins would say, Danielle, let them, let them do a handstand when everyone else is
No
in plank.
fucking way.
So I'm curious. I wish I could see this play out. Like, okay, back when you were controlling, because you've released that now. So
Oh,
back
well,
when
it's
you
still in
were
here.
controlling
I just
and
block it.
someone was over there just doing their own thing,
Yeah.
would you just kind of give them daggers? Like, would you look at them? How would this play out? Would
Yeah.
you be talking calmly, but like looking at them sternly?
Oh, yeah. I will passive aggressively start to talk about humility and the value of listening to the teacher.
You have listening. Yeah.
And you can't be a teacher unless you are able to listen and practice humility,
I
right?
love it.
So, oh yeah, that's what I would do, passive aggressively. Talk about that.
So good. So good. You know what I do appreciate your yoga classes for is your ability to improvise in the moment. Like it's so clear when you take a class of yours that it is not something that has been scripted out and memorized and just rote done, like a robot. You are gauging the audience, you're
Yeah.
adjusting as you go, you're making jokes as you go.
Yes, getting angry.
Yep, getting angry, passive aggressive as you go. I love that though. It's so authentic and real and it keeps it interesting. It keeps the class interesting.
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like, that is something that I really am trying to work on is releasing control. Because, I mean,
Mm.
not only the yoga class is one small place, but like, I mean, even with Scott, I will try to control his breathing, right? Where I'm
In general, just in life, like as he's sitting
like,
next to you.
well, yeah, like when we're sleeping together, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
that's too loud. Like, your exhales are too loud. They're disrupting me. So, in general, that is a theme of mine to
Okay.
release
Hey,
control.
awareness. I like
And
it.
I would, yes, and I would love to hear from you, Janelle, like in terms of this full moon, this Beaver Moon,
Hmm.
which I think is such a hilarious title.
Beaver
I mean, let's
Moon.
just take a moment to talk about that
Yeah.
title before you
Yes.
answer what are you releasing. But
The Beaver Moon.
yeah, are you thinking what I'm thinking with
I
this
am
Beaver?
definitely thinking what you're thinking because you and I, it makes me also reminds me of, I saw recently just this post around how all the names of birds that men clearly named, like
Oh.
the red tufted, red breasted tit or something.
The red-breasted
Breasted
tit. Oh
tit.
my gosh.
I mean, I totally just made that up, but it's something like that.
I love it. Let's have that be our hashtag. Red-breasted tit. I think I'll put that on YouTube.
Okay, let's put that as the description of this episode and see how many views we get. It's clickbait
I love
at its
it.
finest.
So I mean, yeah,
Oh,
with you, Janelle,
yeah.
you have so much self-awareness. What,
Hmm.
what do you look at? How do you look at the full moon? And is there anything that you would want to release?
You know, I don't think I was ever really aware of or thought about this notion of releasing something on a full moon. I really like that. I definitely, for the past probably 10 years, have thought about the moon cycles as something really special. And I watch for them. I watch for the full moon. I didn't really think of the new moon as being, something where you might set an intention. And I love that. I actually I'm going to start doing that. I like the ritual of that. And I'm curious. I do have questions around why, why is it when it's the full moon that's when you're releasing? But anyway, we'll go back to that. But I got into, actually in my Lululemon times, I got into crystals and
Mm.
charging them on full moons. And I really felt like there was something to that. And I didn't know, I didn't go deep enough or learn enough about the history of that or kind of the magic of that. But all of our kids got into it and they still have crystals in their windowsill.
Mm.
And we still, if we happen to remember or we're talking on a full moon night, we're driving somewhere and we notice it's a full moon, we're like, okay, let's, make sure our crystals are in the window and let's charge them. And um, but thinking about something that I need to release, you talking about controlling. I've been reflecting recently on how when I think about my kids and I watch them in whether it's in their sports or in academics or even in their social life, I find myself, I don't know if it's wanting to control. I don't know if control is the word, but I want their childhood to play out how I pictured it in my mind. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I had this vision of what high school would be like for them. I had a vision for what sports would be like for them and what they would do and how they would like it or not like it. And what I've noticed is as it's played out differently than what I had planned, I find myself, I guess, wanting to control and maybe curate their high school experience how I think it should be.
Mm.
And similar to you, I think that I need to let go of this notion that however my childhood was, or however this different childhood that I've created in my head is, and how I think that it's the right way or a good way, I have to let go that of this notion that there is one way to do it, or there is a right way to do high school or to
Hmm.
be a high school student, and let them carve their own path, like their own things, obviously, and just be who they want to be in high school.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That is so hard. I mean, I think
Yeah.
as a mom and with Blanca, like with her first job out of college, I have this thing too where like I want all of these things. Like I have a
Mm.
specific outcome that I want for her and an environment. And if it doesn't go, if like what she's experiencing isn't what I think she should be experiencing,
Hmm.
it's a challenging space where I just have to, again, let go. Damn it. All this letting
Hmm.
go.
Letting go. There is a fine balance between how where might we push them out of their comfort. Okay, I'm going to use a very specific example.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
So we were just in Hawaii, as you know, family vacation. And our planned return from Hawaii was returning on Halloween, like actually leaving the night before on a red eye and landing around 6 a.m. on Halloween day. And I planned that, which is a Friday. I planned that specifically because I thought, the kids are going to want to do Halloween, and
Yeah.
it's, tradition. We do the trick or treating, the haunted house, everything. And then my oldest is in 11th grade, so, parties and all that. And so as the day is approaching and we're still in Hawaii, I'm getting messages from people back in Vancouver saying, "Oh my goodness, it's going to be an absolute downpour on Halloween. It's going to be the worst weather for Halloween. And oh, isn't that a bummer?" And here I'm sitting in Hawaii in the sun at the beach thinking, so we're going to leave this to
Yeah.
go back to that, which sounds pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Trick-or-treating and pouring down rain in Vancouver
Why
is not a
bother?
fun thing. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Why even get out of bed for that? So we start as a family saying, maybe we should extend our trip because instead of coming
Yeah.
home on a Friday, why don't we come home well, actually Thursday. Instead of coming home Thursday night, why don't we come home Saturday or even
Mm.
Sunday? So as we do, we often discuss these things as a family. Now, we're not a democracy. We're going to vote, and whatever vote whatever the
Yeah.
most is wins. Carl and I say, okay, we are the decision makers, but we do want to have as much info as possible to make the best decision possible. So we want
Hmm.
your opinion. We want to look at this from all angles, and we will make a call. And it may or may not be aligned with what you want. So we bring everyone together, all the kids, and we say, "Hey kids, we're looking at the weather back in Vancouver. It's not looking good. In fact, it's going to be really cold, really, really rainy and miserable right at Halloween. So we're thinking maybe we extend the trip." And two of the younger kids were like, "Yeah, let's stay." But my oldest actually, she's like, and they were like, What? Did you have plans?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, actually, like, there's a couple parties." And I was so excited, hands down. I actually was so excited because she never wants to go do these social things. She
Mm.
usually just wants to stay home with
Yeah.
us, which I love that too. But in
Hmm.
my mind, I'm like, "You're 16 years old, you're in 11th grade, your friends are out, go have fun.
Yeah.
Like this is like one of the greatest times of your life. Just go have fun. But she always wants to stay home and hang out with us. So, she literally was the only one in the family that wanted to come back. All the rest of us wanted to stay. But after we had the family conversation, Carl and I went into the bedroom to have our debrief. The jury is convening. The
What's the
jury of two.
verdict?
Yep. And Carl's like, we're staying. Like, we gotta stay. Like, there's no, there'll be other parties. But I was like, I don't know, like, but it's a Halloween party, they're gonna be
Yeah.
dressed up. It's like a whole different vibe. And she's never asked to go to a party before, ever in her life. Never
Yeah.
wanted to go. And so we talked about it, and long story short, we decided to come back so she could go to her parties.
Oh,
And
that's
she
so
went and she had
sweet.
so much fun. And we didn't even stay up for her because I was tired by 9 o'clock. I was
Yeah.
like texting her, I'm like at 9. I'm like, Layla, we're going to bed.
Yeah.
You know how to get an Uber. But if you need us, just call. Good thing she didn't call because I probably wouldn't have heard it. But yeah, she came home at like maybe 12:15 or something and woke us up and told us all about it. And I was just so
Oh.
happy because it's what I had been wanting. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm as even as I'm hearing that, I'm like, oh, this is me just like
Being
trying to get what
attached.
I want. Yes, and being attached to what her high school experience should be. But all that to say, the reason I was bringing the idea of going to parties or hanging out with friends up is I know that it's out of her comfort zone. She's a
Mm-hmm.
homebody, she's introverted. And so there were many times where I knew that her friends were going out and she didn't want to go, and I would be trying to push her out of her comfort
Mm-hmm.
zone, thinking that it was good for her because in my mind I thought, oh, once she goes, she's going to have so much fun. And then I can be like, I told you so. Oh man, this is going downhill real fast. I'm starting to sound really bad. But yeah, I think there is a fine balance though. How do we um, whether it's pushing our kids out of their comfort zone or reining them back to say, we
Mm-hmm.
actually know best, like that is not a good idea. The
Yeah.
path you are going is not healthy or it's not going to play out well for you
Mm-hmm.
because we've seen this path many times and we have a pretty good idea of how it's going to go. And that it's like in those moments, when do you just kind of put your foot down and say, no, you're not going to do that?
Yeah.
Or do you just let them experience it for themselves? I feel like the right answer, not that there is a right answer, I feel like the right answer is you let them experience it themselves, right? Isn't that it, Danielle? I'm looking at you.
I
That's the right
don't
thing,
know.
right?
I mean,
They're their own
I
person.
do believe that mom always knows best. So, I
Thank
mean, that's the
you.
filter I'm coming from. That is
Yeah.
my bias. I do think everybody should
Mother
listen
knows
to their
best.
mom. Yeah. Just listen to your mom all the time. I mean,
Mm,
wasn't that what Bridget Jones, basically she
yeah.
ended up with what's his name? The Colin whatever guy, right?
Yeah.
Like Harvey. Was it Harvey?
Doesn't
I don't
sound
know. I
right.
think I'm like collapsing
Harvey.
suits with Bridget Jones. I'm not sure
In
what's
Bridgerton.
happening. But anyway, there was some guy. It was, it wasn't the one
Hmm.
who was
Hmm.
who's the
Darcy?
actor?
Darcy? Is
Oh,
it
maybe it
Dar?
was Darcy.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Darcy.
Right. The
I
mom
don't
was
know.
always rooting for him, and she
Yeah.
ends up ending up with him. So I'm like, look,
Yeah.
you could have saved yourself all that heartache, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
Bridget Jones had to go through all of that heartache and her own
Mm-hmm.
mistakes of love and choosing
Mm-hmm.
the wrong guy so that she could fully appreciate Darcy slash Harvey.
Darcy Harvey.
Darcy Harvey. Yeah.
You have a very good point. And historically speaking, so many instances where the mother knows best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
Okay.
think whatever you say, get in line, girls. Sophia, Layla, and Bo too.
Bo
Listen to
too.
mom.
Listen to your mom. Listen to your mom. I like it.
Okay, so we're charging our crystals. I've never
Yep.
done that. And as a
Serious?
yoga teacher, I know
That
this is
is
kind of weird.
surprising, Danielle.
I know. I mean, look at me. I have all these crystals here.
I know you do.
Look, right
Yeah.
on my desk. So
Tomorrow
when do you
night,
charge them?
windowsill.
Oh, you
Yeah.
just have them on your windowsill? Like,
Windowsill, yeah, where the moon's light would be coming in.
well, I've heard people taking them outside.
Yeah, yeah. I think you do it. Do
Okay, so do
whatever.
you like clean them first, or is there some kind of ritual to do, or
You're probably supposed to. I don't have anything. I just do what I can and whatever magic I can get from that, I'll take.
okay. Well, maybe that's what I'm gonna do tonight because I know the
Okay.
full moon is early in the
Oh yeah.
morning tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll
Okay.
just put them out.
I love it.
I love that idea. Okay, and then I know
Hmm.
you asked me about the new moon, the planting the
Yes.
seeds. Oh, and then the letting go.
You letting
I
go
think
on a
it's
full
also,
moon.
I think that's also from the farmers,
Farmers. Yeah. It's just
right? This is
nature.
the harvest. I mean, but then I
Hmm.
think like, how can it be the harvest like every month? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We'll chat GPT that.
Yeah, we will. We'll
Yeah,
put it in
exactly.
our notes, episode
Well,
notes.
I'm so happy you had a wonderful time in Hawaii, Janelle. I was not
Hmm.
sure if you were going to come back. So I'm happy you are back, although we could have done this from Hawaii. And I know Hawaii is, an annual family vacation for you all at least.
Totally.
But I love this conversation about the full beaver moon,
The beaver moon.
the
Try and
red-breasted
say it
tit.
without chuckling. I dare you.
And thank
Well,
you for listening to this conversation. I hope you all have a beautiful full moon and release whatever it is that's no longer serving you. If you enjoyed listening to us, subscribe to our channel. We drop new episodes every Wednesday. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Janelle.
bye.